Hey yogis, welcome. It's Julia. I'm so happy to have you here today. We're going to do a yoga flow, especially for folks who have to sit a lot. Maybe you have a desk job or you're in your car a lot. This is a fantastic flow to open you up in all of those places that get a little bit tight from being in a chair or being in the car. And really, this is just great for anybody who's feeling some of those common sticky spots in the body, like your hamstrings or your hip flexors. So grab your mat, grab some water if you need it, and we'll get started. Okay, so we're gonna start lying down on our back. If you have a couple blocks, bring them with you. If you don't even worry about it. Let's come on down. We'll begin in recline bound angle. So come all the way down to your back. Bring the soles of your feet together and let your knees butterfly open. So if having your knees wide open is a lot of stress on your inner thighs, you're welcome to take your blocks and slide them right underneath your thigh bones, just so that they can ground, and the blocks will then catch you there. Take your arms out today, either straight out from your sides or a soft W bend. And we'll start with some deep breathing. I like to work with 3-part breathing. So take a full breath in, open mouth exhale, and then place a hand on your belly and a hand on your heart. In 3-part breathing, we do exactly that. Our breath comes in 3 parts, and it leaves our body in 3 parts. So on your inhale, fill your low abdomen first, then into your rib cage, and then into your chest. On your exhale, lower your chest first, your ribs draw in, and your low belly softens. Do that again. Inhale, low belly, ribs, chest, and then the opposite of that. As you exhale, the chest falls, the ribs draw in, the belly softens. Let's do one more round. Inhale, low, middle, high. And your exhale is high, middle, low. Let everything breathe out. Good. Take a natural inhale and a natural exhale. Take your hands to your knees, close them, and slide your blocks off your mat. We'll come up into tabletop. So roll to your side and come to all fours. Hands will stack underneath your shoulders, hips over your knees. And we'll start with some cat and cow. So on your inhale, the cow pose, tailbone moves up, belly goes low, heart lifts. Exhale into cat pose, round your spine, push the ground away, gaze back at your thighs. Inhale for cow pose, and exhale into cat. Breathe in for cow. Breathe out for cat. Good. On your inhale, come to neutral spine, so you'll be nice and long from your tail to your crown. Okay, now we'll move into thread the needle. We'll thread 3 times before we land. Root into your left hand. On your inhale, circle your right arm up. On your exhale, thread and twist until you're empty. On your inhale, reverse it. Reach up. Exhale to thread, swoop under. Reverse it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread the needle, and this time you land shoulder down, cheek down, ear down. And extend your left arm long, prop up onto your finger pads. Hollow your armpit a little farther back. And roll your bottom ribs under, top ribs over. Take a deep breath in. Deep breath out. Good. Slide your left hand underneath your shoulder. Inhale to unwind your right arm. Gaze up at your thumb. Exhale, hand down. Let's do the other side. Root into your right hand, circle your left arm up. Reach, then thread as you breathe out. Reverse it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread and twist. Reverse it. Inhale, reach up. Exhale, thread, twist, and land. Shoulder down, cheek and ear down. Extend your right arm to the top edge of your mat and prop up onto your finger pads. Hollow the pit of your armpit back, and then roll your top ribs on top of your bottom ribs. Take a deep breath in, deep breath out. Good. Slide your right hand under your shoulder. Inhale to unwind your left arm back up, reach. Exhale, tabletop land. Good. Take your arms out in front of you, touch your toes together, and let your hips shift back into child's pose. So we've moved through some spinal flexion and extension, some spinal rotation, and then we'll go into some lateral flexion or side bending. So walk your hands over to the right side of the mat and maybe all the way off the mat. Stack your left hand on top of your right hand, lace your fingers, and then allow your left ribs to roll down and drag your left hip crease back. Breathe into the side seam of the body. Good. Release the lace of your hands. Walk over to the other side so hands come off the left side of the mat. Then stack your right hand on top of your left hand. Lace your fingers. Encourage your right ribs to roll down. As you extend through the elbows and straighten your arms, drag your right hip crease back. Your breath will go into the side seam of the body, stretching your ribs to flare out just a bit. Your exhale draws that back in. Walk back to the center. Inhale to tabletop. And then your exhale, come to downward facing dog. Tuck your toes, press into your palms, lift your hips up and back, and then pedal your legs until your heels start to lower towards the ground. All right, so here we are in downward facing dog. Really great pose to start to open up the back line of your legs. So if you are someone who has to have a desk job and you notice that your desk chair is causing you some tightness in your hamstrings and having your legs extended all the way in downward facing dog is causing you to round up, then just soften the knees here. Soften the knees, send your tailbone up, press into your palms. Good. Then step your feet together, lift your right leg high on your inhale. On your exhale, come to low lunge. Step your right foot next to your right hand and lower your left knee. So we're going to come into Anjaneyasana, kneeling crescent lunge. Rise up, so you're going to press down through the back leg, press down through your front heel, and then draw your leg bones together. Lift up through your torso and bring your arms up overhead. So if you usually go really low in this lunge, I'll encourage you to back up just a bit so your hip is over your knee, and then to open up this hip flexor, engage your left glute until you feel your hip tip kind of zip up. And that's going to give us a nice amount of space in the front of your left hip. If that action causes you to collapse a little bit in your low back, continue to lift up through your heart. Brighten your hands up to the ceiling and take your gaze up to the top corner of the room. Take a full breath in here. On your exhale, bring your hands down, shift your hip over your left knee, and hop your right heel forward. Flex your toes back to your nose and move your chest through. So the action of pulling back is countered by your action of drawing your chest forward. Good. So you're on your heel, swivel your toes out on an angle. We're going to get the side panel of the leg. So your foot is still a flexed ankle, but the toes are out on an angle. That way you can draw your outer right hip crease back. From that action, move your chest forward. And this can be pretty intense for the outer hip, so just go to an edge that you can breathe through. There's no need to force or push yourself to something that is really painful or hard to hold. Good. Bring your toes back up towards the ceiling. Tuck your back toes so you can push yourself forward to low lunge. Elevate your back knee off your yoga mat. Then step forward to a ragdoll pose, a wide stance of a forward fold. Bend your knees generously. Drape your belly between your thighs and frame your head with your arms. Grab for opposite elbows and let your skull drain down to the ground. Really bent knees in this forward fold allows some release to come into the low back, which is an area that we often find some stiffness after we've been sitting for a long time. Take another full breath in. Full breath out, release your fingers. On your inhale, rise up, root down through your legs, circle your arms up overhead, then take your right hand over to your left forearm, a little athletic bend in your knees, lift your left ribs up, then side bend over to your right, let the side seam of the body stretch. Inhale carries you back up, switch your grip, lift your right ribs, and on your exhale, side bend over to your left. Good. Inhale, rise back up. Separate your arms. Exhale, swan dive, fold all the way back down. Your feet can stay hips width distance. This time, lift your seat a little bit higher. Let your arms lower down, head lower down. So you're moving your legs a bit straighter on this forward fold than they were on the last one. Now glide your hands to your shin bones on your inhale. Halfway lift your chest. So if you need to softly bend your knees here, that's fine. Move your chest forward, flatten out your spine. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, plant your hands, step back to a plank pose and lower all the way down to your belly. Loop your shoulder heads back when you get to the bottom and untuck your toes. Press down into your legs until your kneecaps lift. 3 times we'll take cobra pose. Inhale, start with a little baby cobra. Draw your elbows in and hover your hands. So a lot of back muscles to lift you here. This is a great pose to counterbalance all of that folding we do when we're in a chair, that slumping forward. This pose allows us to ignite our spinal muscles, brighten up the heart. One more breath in. Exhale, touch your forehead down. Now breath with movement. Inhale, lift your chest up. Exhale, fold back down. Last time, cobra. Lift your chest up, head and neck are last. Exhale, touch down and push back to child's pose. Widen your knees, drop your belly between your thighs, soften your forehead down to your yoga mat. Take a full breath in. This time an open mouth sigh out the mouth. Good. Tabletop on your in-breath. Tuck your toes. We return to downward facing dog. Feel your sit bones lift up nice and high, long spine, and then drive your heels low on this downward facing dog. Engage your quads to press the top of your thigh bones farther back. You'll feel a deeper stretch down the back line of your legs. Good, now step your feet together. Lift your left leg up. Inhale as you rise. On your exhale, step through to lunge. Left foot comes next to your left thumb. Release your right knee down. Anjaneyasana. Back shin presses down. Front heel. Lift up through your torso so your ribs come to float over your pelvis. And frame your ears with your arms. And again, if you typically sink really low in this pose, I encourage you today to back up just a bit until your pelvis is over your knee. Then squeeze your right glute, zip the tip of your hip up, and continue that front spinal wave through the heart. Brighten your fingers and feel your hip flexor on the right side stretch and open. One more breath in. Exhale, your hands come down, half splits, Ardha Hanumanasana. Hips come over your back knee, hop your left heel forward. As you drag your hip creases back, move your chest as if your heart was coming towards the top of your foot. So you're on your heel again. You can swivel your toes out, keep your ankle flexed, and drag your outer left hip crease back. You'll feel a stretch all the way up the side seam of the leg. So maybe you've had that sensation when you're driving where you get a lot of stiffness and tightness into your hip. This is a great variation on the half splits to start to open up some space there. Good. Dial your toes back up. Tuck your back toes, lunge forward, elevate your right knee off the yoga mat, then step to a forward fold. We'll take that ragdoll variation again, drop your head, but this time interlace your fingertips behind your back. Interlace your fingers. And if this feels tight today, put a hand towel between your hands to give you a little more space. Loop your shoulder heads back, then extend your knees a little bit, straighten out those legs. Bend into your right knee a lot. Turn your chest to the left. Push down into your left leg, and you may want to shift just a little bit weight forward, then hug your outer hip back. Drop your head. It's really common to sort of crane your neck. No need. Let it go heavy. Take one more breath in. Exhale, soften your knee, come back through the center. Bend your left knee a lot. Press down into your right foot. Again, weight may want to come forward. That's fine. Hug your outer hip crease up and back. Drop your head. Ear goes heavy to the shoulder. One more breath in. Exhale, soft knees. Release your fingers. Inhale, root to rise. Circle your arms up overhead. Take your right hand over to your left forearm. Side bend over to your right on exhale breath. Inhale, come up through center. Switch your grip. Exhale, side bend. Inhale, rise up. Swan dive, fold, bow. Spin the inseams of your thighs back. Drop your head. Good. Hands to your shin bones. Halfway lift your chest. Heart moves forward. Lengthen your spine as the shoulder blades move back. Exhale, plank pose. Lower through chaturanga and then all the way to your belly. Untuck your toes. Loop your shoulder heads back. That cobra pose 3 times, breath with movement. Inhale, rise middle back, upper back, chest, gaze. Exhale, fold it down. Again, inhale, feel that wave all the way up. Neck and head are last. Exhale, lower down. Last time, inhale, draws you up. Exhale, down, push back, child's pose. The belly rests to the thighs, forehead down to your yoga mat, and soften your elbows and your shoulders. Take a deep breath in through your nose, and sigh your breath out. And your next in-breath, tabletop, rise, hands and knees, downward facing dog, lift your hips up high. Step your feet together. Inhale your right leg skyward. Exhale, step through, lunge. Lengthen your spine on your inhale. Good, and then ground your left hand and circle your right arm up. So strong back leg enables your spine to go long. Root down into your left hand. Turn your belly button towards your right thigh. Brighten up through those top fingers. Take a full breath in. On your exhale, drop your right fingertips down. Keep your back heel up. Come up onto your front heel. So a little variation on a pyramid pose. I call this long stance pyramid. If the ground feels far away, grab your blocks and place your hands on the blocks. What's nice about this variation is your back foot is not fixed, so you can squeeze your inner thighs past one another, swivel your hips, and you'll have an easier time leveling out your sacrum. Move your chest forward on inhale, and then bend at your hip crease on exhale. So I think about being stuck in a chair all day. A pose like this is really nice to send your legs in 2 separate directions, giving their hips some mobility, and lengthening your hamstring, especially in that front leg. Breathe into the sensation. You're almost there. Take one more breath in. And soften your front knee. Heel toe your right foot out to the side. Drop down onto your back knee. And then hands can come down or down to your forearms for lizard pose. And again, if you are working with blocks and forearms feels a little bit too far all the way down to the mat, you bring the floor closer to you by placing your elbows on your block. So if your front hip wants to open, you can dial your right toes out on an angle. Keep your ankle flexed. And draw the front lumbar spine up, chest a little bit forward. That'll help keep you integrated in your core while you stretch here. So you're welcome to stay right here, or bend your back knee, circle your right hand back to grab your foot. This can be pretty edgy, so even just the bend of your knee can draw a stretch into your quad and your hip flexor. So there's really no need to bind if you're already feeling sensation. If the bind is available to you, then loop the shoulder head back, turn your chest towards the ceiling, gaze up. Good, take another breath in. Full breath out. Inhale to unwind. If you have your block, set it aside. Exhale, down dog. Tuck your toes, step back. You can pedal out your legs. Relieve some of that tension from those longer holds. Good. And then inhale your left leg skyward, reach it up. Exhale, step through to lunge. Good, wave your spine forward. So you might even notice that once your core becomes integrated in the pose, your fingers are light. And then ground your right hand, low lunge twist, circle your left lung and your left arm up. Strengthen through the back leg so you can wave your spine longer. And rotate where there's ribs in the body. That's where we twist the best. Stay bright in your top hand and take another breath in. Good. Exhale, touch down. Keep your back heel up. Drag your left leg long and rock up onto your left heel. Again, blocks can come underneath your hands if you want the ground to come a little bit closer to your hands. Hug your outer hip crease back, your right hip down, and feel your sacrum flatten. And if you're not quite sure, you can always take your hand and find out what's going on back there. Move your heart forward. Breathe right into the sensation of the pose, and know that you can always soften this front knee if you need to find a little bit of release for that front leg. Take one more breath in. Good, and then breath out, soften your front knee. Heel toe your left foot wide and release your right knee down. So you're gonna come into this lizard pose. And again, it can be hands, elbows, or you can put your elbows on a block. Allow your torso to lengthen. So if you feel yourself kind of crunched, that's an indicator that block might work well for you. And if you'd like to open up your front hip, send your toes out at an angle, but keep this ankle flexed. So this ankle joint and the knee are in a happy relationship with one another. So if you're feeling plenty right here, there's no need to move on. If you need a little bit more oomph for your body, bend your knee. This here might be plenty of a quad stretch, plenty of a hip flexor stretch, or circle opposite hand to foot, grab on. Loop the shoulder head back, move the heart through the frame of the shoulder, gaze up if your neck allows. If that feels edgy today, you can just gaze to the side or gaze down at your thumb. Be gentle with your body here, and if you notice that you're sagging in your pelvis, draw up through the spine and brighten the heart so that you don't sit on some of those more delicate areas of the body. Good, take one more breath in. Exhale to unwind, tuck your back toes, plant your hands, step back to downward facing dog. You can cha-cha out your hips as much as you need to bring some softness back into the body. especially after those more intense stretches. Take one more breath here in down dog. And then on your exhale, lower down to your knees. We're gonna come onto the back. So down on your back, stamp your feet hips width distance and reach your fingertips to tickle the backs of your heels. So you can make a shelf with your shoulder blades behind your heart. They don't have to be squeezed in. They're just a nice broad back. Good. From there, press into your feet, lift up to bridge pose. So hips will come up. If you need to redistribute your shoulders underneath you, do that. And then there's always the option to bind your hands. Good. So often if we're stuck in our chair all day or stuck in our car, we don't really have a chance to turn on our glutes. And in bridge pose, you don't want to clench super hard, but you do want to have a little bit of glute engagement for lift. And then counterbalance that with your inner thighs, drawing in just enough to track your knees in line with your hips. Heel toe your left foot to the middle of your mat. Press down into your left foot and draw your right knee into your chest. Then extend your knee, kick your heel up to the ceiling. Cross your right shin bone over your left thigh bone. Drop your hips down. Pick up your legs and grab behind your left thigh for a supine pigeon. Bend into your right elbow and throw your elbow into your right thigh bone so that as you draw your left leg in, you can press your right knee out. Getting right into some rotator muscles of our hips. Just breathe. You might be familiar with the half pigeon variation where your belly's down. And this is a great alternative if you have any knee pain in that pose. It's also just a great pose in and of itself to really direct specific stretch into the rotation muscles of your hip. Good, take one more breath in. Release your foot down. Keep your right shin crossed. A little challenge here. Press into your left foot. Lift your hips back up into bridge. Unwind your right leg, lift it up. And then plant your right foot down at the center of your mat. Draw your left knee in. Extend your left knee until your heel kicks up to the ceiling. Then figure four your left shin on your right thigh. Drop your hips. Supine pigeon on the right. Grab behind your right thigh, draw it in towards your chest, and then press your left elbow into your left thigh. And you can do that press of your elbow as much as you need to feel the stretch and the sensation that you desire in this pose. If it becomes so intense that you notice you hold your breath or you maybe flinch in pain, it's too far, right? So be sweet on your body. Go to the place that you can breathe through. And that's a pretty good rule of thumb for all of yoga. You should be able to breathe steady through the entire practice, not trying to put yourself into impossible situations. Good. Take another breath in. Release your right foot down. Then your hips come up. Keep the figure four legs until your hips are all the way up. Then unwind your left leg. Stamp your foot down. Hips down. Just rock your knees side to side for a moment to relieve the back. Good. Then extend your left leg long. Draw your right knee around your ribs up to your armpit for a half wind removing pose. Then bring your right knee over to the left. Left hip's gonna scooch underneath the right. You can allow the knee to drop and extend your right arm out. If that feels a little too far, you can place a block underneath your knee for a little support. There's no need to tug or pull here. Gravity does most of the work. As we're winding down in our flow, allow your breath to be soft and easy. Good. On your next inhale, come back through center. Extend your right leg long. Hug your left knee around your rib cage up into your armpit for a half wind removing pose. Then supine twist, scoot your bottom hip underneath, cross your left knee over to the right, and let your arm fall out to the side. Again, there's no need to pull or tug. Just let your body go soft here. Good. Use your next inhale to come back through center. Hug both knees into your chest. Wrap your arms around your legs. Draw your forehead up to meet your knees. Take in a really deep breath. Then on your exhale, open up to Shavasana, your rest pose. Give your body permission to take up a lot of space. Arms can come away from the sides of the body so the armpits can breathe. Relax your jaw. Eyes close. Slow your breath intentionally. Acknowledge all of the new space in your body. And even right here in Shavasana, how this is a more free and liberating stance for your body than it was in the car or in the office chair. Here in Shavasana, you can sprawl out, spill out, take up a lot of space. Be generous with yourself. If you ever have 5 or 10 minutes to spend in Shavasana, I invite you to take that extra time. Anytime you can carve it out for yourself. Your day is calling you. Start with a little movement in your toes, a little movement in your fingers. Stretch your arms overhead. Bring your knees into your chest. Roll over to your side. Is going to come up with me. Press yourself up to a seat. So bring your hands to your heart and then link your thumbs, cross them so you're going to make little wings. Press those wings right into your chest and then lift your heart up into the wings. So Garuda Mudra. I like to take this mudra anytime I've been maybe feeling a little tense or a little tight, a little closed off, as a reminder to sort of spread my heart wings wide. And to also breathe big right up into the hands. So take a breath in and feel your lungs inflate your rib cage and your sternum all the way up into this mudra. Big wide open exhale. Good. Take the Anjali mudra back up to mind's eye. Press your knuckles into your third eye center. Bow forward to seal your practice and to say thank you to your body. Namaste. So thank you so much for watching. For more videos like this, head over to Wellness Plus. If you want to learn more about me or check out some of my upcoming workshops, head over to juliamarieyoga.com. Thanks.
With hundreds of videos that you can stream on virtually any device to help you reduce stress, lose weight, or just improve your health and well-being overall. At wellnessplus.tv, we are dedicated to helping you on your health and wellness journey. Join wellnessplus.tv to find hundreds of videos to help you improve the health of your body and your mind. wellnessplus.tv. Get well, feel better.